Well, good morning. Happy Monday. Welcome to Ozarks Fox AM. I almost messed up my own title of the show, CJ. I was like, Fox AM, I don't know where I am today.
You know.
It was a good weekend, let me just tell you that. I'm Jeremy Raven. Would you please welcome my very special guest co-host for the day, Branson entertainer and superstar, CJ Newsom.
Hey.
It's so good to have you here, CJ. It's been a while.
It has been a while, yeah.
When was the last time you were on?
I want to say about 2.5 years ago. Is that accurate?
Actually, you are correct because I went back and looked at our picture that we took, and it was like from 2018.
Wow, that seems like a lifetime ago, though, doesn't it?
What, in the current world, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We were just so happy because CJ was here before the pandemic.
Yeah.
And then we've had certain people here, like you're going to meet an artist here coming up who was here on a different show. But anyway, we've been using our garage as our green room, and our guests have to go through that. Well, they just reopened our green room today, so CJ got to experience almost what life was like 2 years ago. Almost, CJ.
It's been great, though.
I know, I'm so happy. So, CJ, if somebody, is singing for the first time, tell us all about yourself and Branson and your show, and just, give us a little synopsis.
Okay. I love Branson to pieces. I love Missouri, really. But Branson is a neat place because, I always think of Branson as a very hospitable place. We roll out the red carpet of hospitality to our tourists and our entertainers, too. You're going to find, if you're singing for the first time in Branson, that all the entertainers are very nice to each other.
Oh, yeah.
There's not that spirit of competition that's you find in some places.
Oh, yeah, so true. It's so true.
But I love it. As a young girl, I always wanted to have my own show in Branson. I never thought it would happen, though.
Really? Where did you grow up?
Actually, not far from here.
Really?
Yeah. I spent a good portion of my life in Fordland.
Okay, yeah.
And then the other part, I graduated from Rogersville.
Oh my gosh, I live in Rogersville.
No.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that, CJ. I thought you were like from Oklahoma or Texas or something.
No. Missouri's always felt like home to me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I fell in love with Missouri, and I thought there's no need to move. In fact, the only thing I did do was at 16, I moved to Branson with my folks.
Oh, gotcha.
And
now, when you were 16, though, and moving to Branson, because I know last time you were here, you talked about are you like a prize-winning yodeler?
Yeah.
Did you compete and yodel and do shows, or?
I not against other yodelers per se, but yeah, I did compete in a bunch of different competitions like that. So.
That's amazing. That's so cool.
It was an interesting art to learn. My mother taught me how to yodel.
She?
Yeah.
Now, I think last time you were here, I said the one, when I was in Branson working, the song I'd hear the most is Cowboy Sweetheart.
Yeah.
Like, that's iconic for yodeling. Did you perform that one?
I did, yeah. That's the one, there's two different types of yodeling. There's Swiss Alps kind of yodeling, and then there's cowboy yodeling.
So is the Swiss one like, Ricola? Is that it?
Very similar.
Is that what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Very similar, yeah.
Well, I love yodeling, and maybe we'll get CJ to yodel. Coming up, too, CJ and I are going to sing a classic country song coming up, because we've got to bring some country to the show today since you're here. And I want to ask Jennifer Bray. Jennifer Bray, have you ever tried to yodel?
I have not, and I will not do that.
I was just going to... that was my follow-up, Jen.
No. I need a warm-up off camera first. I can't.
Anything? Okay.
No. I will try. I will try this off camera.
Can CJ give lessons?
In my own time.
I can.
Yes.
I can.
After a couple of lessons, maybe I would do it for you.
Okay.
But not right now.
All right.
I can't ruin people's mornings like that.
They're eating breakfast. We don't want to do that.
In her defense, it's awfully early to yodel.
It is very awfully early to yodel.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this morning I have a story to tell you about. I saw this trending on Twitter a few days ago, and I had to print the article because there are so many great things in here. And it's essentially, this article, they are retelling a story that was already written a few years ago, but it's such a great story we had to revisit, and people were obsessed with it online. It was trending on Twitter. It is a story about a man, they call it the world's last lost tourist. And this is a story of a German national, Erwin Cruz. In 1977, he took a plane from Germany, to celebrate his birthday. He had saved up some money. He wanted to visit San Francisco. He had seen it in movies, and he wanted to visit the city. So he gets on a plane. He flies to the United States. The plane makes a stop at a small airport in Bangor, Maine. And he had already been drinking that day. He works at a brewery, and he says 17 beers was his daily average. So in Bangor, Maine, when they stop at a small airport to refuel, the flight attendant says to him, I think she was getting off her shift, and she says to him, "Have a great time in San Francisco." And he thought, "I'm here." So he gets off the plane in Maine, and he starts, he checks into a hotel. He was a little drunk. He checks into the hotel. He goes to a bar. He does the touristy things. And then he realizes that he's like, well, this doesn't look like San Francisco. Maybe I'm in a suburb or something, or in the Bay Area, whatever. So he asks for a taxi to take him to San Francisco, and the man takes off, leaves him there, and thinks this man is crazy. So he goes back to the bar and tries to explain, and he is German. He doesn't really speak a lot of English. Oh. So the waitress says, you know what? We have someone here in Bangor she speaks German. Go to her house and try to talk to her. She can help you. So he explains to her, and that's when he realizes. She tells him, honey, you are not in San Francisco, you're in Bangor, Maine. Her family takes him in, he stays there a few days, and then he becomes a local celebrity. There is articles about him in the paper. They throw him a 50th birthday party since they found out what happened to him, and he ended up on the Today Show as well. San Francisco, people there found out about this. The San Francisco Examiner at the time flew him to San Francisco, paid for his flight so he could actually go to San Francisco and visit.
That was all in 77?
1977.
Okay.
Yes, and that's, today it would be easy for you to Google it and see where you are.
Right.
But back then, he didn't have a phone, and also, he didn't speak a lot of English, so that was the language barrier there. And for a few days, he thought Bangor, Maine was San Francisco, but he did make it to San Francisco.
So is there a follow-up
eventually.
to 2021? Why is it being revisited now?
Well, because they talked to him about this story. Yes.
Oh.
So this is sgfgate.com is a website out of San Francisco. I guess they just found this old story and thought, let's revisit and talk to this guy about what happened.
Is he back in Germany?
He is back in Germany.
Is he drinking as much?
Probably.
17,
CJ.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, he used to work at a brewery, so, it was just part of his workday, I guess.
Wow.
Taste testing. What a crazy story, right? And that's the reason why they wrote about it again, and that's why people were obsessed with it online, because it's so crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
Well, now he loves Bangor, Maine, I think, more than he loves
I think he
San
would too,
Francisco.
yeah. I just can't even imagine. That story is so crazy. And I was just thinking something too. I've got my guest co-host CJ, and we had to toss to weather with TJ. TJ and CJ, and I kind of feel left out, Jen. I feel like we need to have a J. I got JR, but in JA, it just doesn't go TJ.
I'm so happy about this, guys. I really am. Just ecstatic.
It's CJ and TJ today.
Siege and Tej. There we
Siege
go.
and Tej.
It's perfect.
By the way, TJ, rain, is it gone?